All right, today we're going to dive into this one single, absolutely electrifying passage from the narrative of Frederick Douglass. We're going to zero in on that one moment when a man, literally trapped in chains, somehow found the will to be free. And you know what sparked it all? Just the sight of some sails on the horizon.
So that's really the question at the heart of this whole thing, isn't it? How can something so simple, just seeing some ships on the water, ignite a full-blown revolution inside a person's soul? Well, to really get a feel for that fire, we've got to first understand the darkness he was in.
And yeah, to really grasp this change, you have to see where he was starting from. For Frederick Douglass, Sunday, his one day of rest, it wasn't some kind of relief. Oh no, it was this deep dive into a state of just soul-crushing hopelessness. And listen to the words he uses to describe it. It's just so powerful. A beast-like stupor. I mean, we're not just talking about sadness here. This is a feeling of being completely dehumanized, right? His spirit was so broken down that he felt trapped somewhere between being awake and being asleep, like between life and just nothing.
He talks about these little flickers of hope that would pop up, but they just get stamped out almost immediately by the crushing reality of his situation. I mean, the despair was so deep, so profound, that he actually admits he thought about taking his own life. This was absolute rock bottom. But then, something happens. Something changes. And the thing that kicks off this massive transformation, it isn't some big event, it's not another person, it's just a sight. The sight of these beautiful, majestic ships sailing on the Chesapeake Bay.
So just picture it. He's standing there on the shore, just watching these vessels. Now, for you or me or for anyone else really, they'd just be a pretty sight, right? A symbol of trade, of travel, of beauty. But for Douglass, oh, they were something else entirely.
I mean, that is just such a powerful image. Instead of beauty, he's seeing death. He's seeing torment. You see, the total freedom of those ships just made the horror of his own enslavement that much clearer. It was like they were taunting him, haunting him with everything he couldn't have.
And this is the absolute key to the whole thing, this paradox. He sees the ships as both shrouded ghosts and swift-winged angels. So on one hand, as ghosts, they stand for the life and the freedom that felt totally dead to him. But on the other hand, as angels, they represent the tiny glimmering possibility of escape. It's this massive internal conflict that just tears him apart, but it's also what ultimately builds him back up.
And this inner battle, this torment, well, it can't stay inside. It just explodes outward. And with nobody else around to hear him, Frederick Douglass starts talking directly to the ships, just pouring out everything in his soul. He kicks it off by just stating this simple, beautiful fact about them. They're untethered. They're free from their moorings. They can go wherever they want. They are completely 100% free. And then, in the very next breath, he just slams it right up against his own brutal reality. The ships are free, but he is trapped in chains, a slave. The contrast is just so sharp, so immediate, you can almost feel the pain in it.
And this comparison just lays out the heart of what he's feeling so perfectly. The ships, they move merrily with a gentle breeze. Him, he moves sadly before a bloody whip. They are angels of freedom, and he is a man confined in bands of iron. It's like every single part of their freedom is a perfect, painful mirror reflecting his own bondage.
And it's right here, right at the absolute peak of his anguish, that something just snaps. The pain gets so big, so intense, that it can't just be sadness anymore. It catches fire and transforms into rage. And then, from that rage, comes resolve.
He's just screaming out these huge, fundamental questions. Is there even a God? Why am I a slave? He's not just asking, he's challenging the entire universe that put him in this position. You can feel it, right? This is that quiet moment right before the storm breaks. And then, the storm breaks with just two simple, unbelievably powerful words. I will. Just like that, all the questioning, all the despair, it stops. And what's left is this solid declaration, an act of will that is about to change absolutely everything.
In that declaration, it immediately turns into a real, practical decision. He knows the risks, right? He could get caught or he could get free. And he says, you know what? I'll try it. He accepts both outcomes. The fear that kept him paralyzed before, it's still there, I'm sure, but now it takes a back seat to the overwhelming need to do something.
And let's be real about the cold, hard math he's doing in his head right here. He's only got one life to lose. So is it better to maybe be killed while running for freedom, or to just die for sure as a slave? When you put it like that, the choice becomes crystal clear for him. The risk of running is now a much better bet than the certainty of staying put.
So what happens next? After this huge emotional explosion, what's left? Well, that raw, fiery passion, it doesn't just fizzle out. It kind of cools and hardens and sharpens into a clear, logical plan.
Yeah, this is way beyond just some desperate wish now. This is a strategy. Those swift-winged angels he saw on the bay, they didn't just inspire him, they literally showed him the way out. And just look at how specific he gets. He's going to use the very same bay that tormented him as his highway to freedom. He knows which way the steamboats go. He knows where he'll need to ditch his canoe. He knows the states he has to walk through. And he knows that at the end of it all is a place where he won't need a pass to be a person. Hope, all of a sudden, has a roadmap.
This right here, this quote, solidifies his new reality. It's not a hope anymore, it's a statement of fact. It's a promise he's making to himself. The idea of living and dying as a slave, it's just been completely erased from his mind, from his spirit. He has literally willed a new future into existence for himself.
And that's where we'll leave it. Just think about that journey, from that beast-like stupor all the way to this profound, unshakable certainty. Douglas's story is this incredible reminder of how one single moment of just seeing something can spark a total transformation, how the very things that torment us can actually become the blueprint for our own freedom. And it kind of leaves you with a question, doesn't it? What are the ships on the bay in our own lives? And what are we going to do when we finally see them?